as long as you believe in the work and do the work.
But first of all, I don't want to be your poster child.
Solidarity is critical to getting this done. Allies are important.
Show me that I provide value to the business.
Is just one more way that some have tried to diminish, dismiss, and disavow the reality of systemic racism.
Be with us in crisis as well as celebration, but be consistent about it. Janet, so Juneteenth is coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a federal holiday now in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And so how do we make sure as organizations and as communicators that we're not being performative about Juneteenth? And what is Juneteenth actually really about?
Well, the first step in not being performative is doing exactly what you're asking, which is defining what Juneteenth is. The perception of a lot of people is that Juneteenth was the end of slavery. It was not. Actually, the Emancipation Proclamation, which had been pushed out earlier, was also not the end of slavery. What happened was the Emancipation Proclamation happened, and it ended slavery for all the people who were enslaved in the Confederate States of America. Juneteenth, which is short for June 19th, marks a day when federal troops actually arrived in Galveston, Texas in 1865 to take control of the state and free all enslaved people there, because they kind of missed the memo in Texas about the Emancipation Proclamation. So they got there and they did it. But even then, that was not the end of slavery, because even though people think about it, it was really emancipation for the remaining that were enslaved in the Confederate States. There were still people enslaved in the two Union border states of Delaware and Kentucky. That didn't come until later in 1865. So part of it is with the 13th Amendment. So part of it is you have to understand what Juneteenth was. That is not so much important as to say that what people think about Juneteenth and the way it's often celebrated is as a solemn, sad affair. It wasn't. If you think about it, you're enslaved and now you're free. That's a party. That's a celebration. So when we talk about it as companies and we want to do this, we need to recognize that it is a celebration. It's a celebration for Black people in America about the ending of slavery. It is not a diversity day. It is not any of those things. So I did a post last year, which actually took off quite a bit. I was very proud of it. And the way I had 5 things that I said you should do on Juneteenth. And I think they hold for this year too. Celebrate what happened as a celebration. Understand that this was the ending of enslavement for a bunch of folks. Center Black Americans in this. This is not about diversity. This is about Black Americans. Close the office. If you haven't made it a holiday, make it a holiday. Don't be performative about it. Make it a holiday. Curb your enthusiasm about DEI. This is not a DEI discussion. That's not an opportunity to take it and use it for something that it's not. And the most important thing is commit to something. I don't care what it is. Take that day and say, we as a company commit to something that has to do with Black people in America, with the ending of institutional racism, all these things. Commit to something, make it a day that means something. That's how you celebrate Juneteenth.